what if it doesn't work? And so thankfully it works. All right. So we're on now.
Oopa doopa.
Oopa doopas. Whoopity doo. I really want to talk about what we feel freedom means, like what to be grateful for that we live here, and what the freedom, the true meaning of freedom means to us. I want you to go first, Danielle.
All right. Yeah, for me, freedom is the opportunities to do your best and experiment and explore and make mistakes, because life can get messy, and if we're punished for every little mistake that we make, I mean, we may not learn the same things that we were meant to. So it's like this whole growth opportunity that I think that we're given, um, to be able to explore and make the mistakes that we do, and um, also expressing ourselves in any which way. So that's also ways that we make mistakes, because that may not be our true authentic self, but we got to experiment or explore that part of ourselves and not have to be sentenced to severe punishments for that.
Yeah.
So we may not gain friends or have everyone like us through those things, but we have that freedom to either make that mistake and then draw the connection to where we can mend a bridge and recover and find connection again. So I think that's what freedom means to me.
I love that. And I agree for sure. It's free will, right? And like you said, there's always that, of course, there's always going to be that double-edged sword there when there is actual free will. Nonetheless, like you were just saying, as long as we get to a point where we experience certain things, yes, but it doesn't mean that that's who we are. And we learn from our mistakes and we change them, right? We realize, we wake up to something. Oh my gosh, wow, holy crap. You make this connection to something else, and then you can rise above it, but you learn from those experiences. And we all make mistakes. We all go through dark nights of the soul, of things where we recognize our own shadow side for the first time, and it's terrifying. But then when we see it, it's really what happens next, right? That matters the most. Being able to have the rights, the freedoms to move up and continue to ascend. And that means that we should not have like too many, well, we should have rules, right? Of certain things to help protect people, but there's like a fine line, right? It's like when we were talking about in the other episodes that we made about the devil, how he works. He uses loopholes, right? So he'll kind of trick us and use like language to manipulate in a way to where it sounds good, but then really it's not the intent that we're thinking on surface level. Their intent is there's something else hiding underneath that's covered by something that looks innocent. So it's like so many things that we have to just watch out for, I feel. And that's where we kind of dive into our intuitive side to get that true knowledge of it. So the sound of freedom. This is such it's something that really touched my heart, that story. And it's Tim Ballard, based off of Tim Ballard. And he's been undercover CIA to help rescue children that are abducted, rescue children that are trafficked and sold. And it's all around the world. And a lot of the big areas that they come through is through open borders. To be honest about the differences on it's polarized for a reason. It's, for example, like, El Chapo, it's like all these things where they were drug lords, these kingpins, right? Even mafias. These have ties to money. It's all about money. And I mean, not to say that these people, they become the way that they are because of their childhoods too. what is passed down in their generations. And so therefore they have this mentality like skull and bones, like the Nazis were the same way. That's exactly how they operated, skull and bones, rituals and cults. So, but it's just it's the dark underbelly. I'm probably trying to go too much into explaining it, but um,
I think it's really important to understand the sources of where these things come from. I mean, we're responsible as consumers of anything, content, media, food, whatever, of what we're choosing to enjoy and consume for our entertainment, our nutrition, and whatever. So I think it's important to understand what you're doing and what you're engaging in, interacting with when you do that.
exactly, exactly. And the one thing that just really sticks out to me out of it all is like, what is more innocent than a child? You know, an innocent child that only wants to learn and be free and experience the world to the fullest and have happy memories. And when you take that away from a kid at such an early age, a lot of them, they say, are sold into that life from birth, and they don't even make it past a year. It's just the most terrifying thing. And
Yeah.
for experiments, they'll do experiments on children and stuff, and literally like the Nazis did. This is exactly what they did. Not just the Nazis, the Russians did it. I mean, the Mayans did it too. Like, this happened in every culture. This is not just subjected to one. This is a humanity problem here.
Mm-hmm.
So, we all bleed the same. I just feel like what we all have in common is children, right? If you have children or not, doesn't matter. You were once a child, and you think about it to yourself, you would never want that to happen. You want to be able to, if you believe in reincarnation, if you don't have kids, but you believe in reincarnation, would you want to reincarnate into a world that is literally hell on earth? No. And that's what it could lead to if we don't make sure to keep an awareness of this problem and, make sure Hollywood cleanses itself of this because a lot of them are consuming that. And that's exactly how their enterprise is built, from blood money, and politicians, establishments just as well. But yeah, the one thing that really stuck out to me from just that movie is, whether you believe in God or not, it says God's children are no longer for sale. They're not for sale anymore. And that's it. We're going to be warriors, and we're going to fight the fight spiritually to protect the innocents.